Watch your girl on the floor. 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 Cause I move so quick and I got bills to throw. Watch your girl on the dance floor. Dance, dance, dance on the dance, 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 dance. Cause I move so quick and I got bills to throw. Bills, 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 I got bills, 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 I got bills.
All right, guys. Welcome into HFA's weekly show here, covering everything inside the HFA. I've got our week 0 kicking off the season party show tonight. We've got a few guests, and then we're going to be jumping into week 1 here. So we're going to cover everything coming up here in the next week or so. But with further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our intro, get our guests that we have with us introduced. And unfortunately, you're going to see on the screen, there's 4 of us, but only 3 of us are here. We had an emergency with one of our guests that's going to have to jump. But Go ahead and introduce our guys. Myself as the media guy for here inside the HFA. Big Hurt. I'm the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Tried to kind of label our names based on the team just so you guys can kind of get used to that. You're going to see J-Rock, who's our founder of the HFA community, and then Silent Poison and Zeus, who are the co-commissioners of the HFA dynasty for college football. J-Rock is the owner of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Silent Poison is the owner of the Penn State Kitty Cats. And then Zeus is the owner of the Ohio State Buckeyes. So, with further ado, I'm going to turn this over to the commissioner, and that is going to be J-Rock himself. How's it going, J-Rock?
Hey, pretty good. Happy to be here, brother. Thanks for having me. All right, guys. So I'm just going to jump into this and kind of kick things off. We're going to make a couple of changes in how we're going to do this real quick since we had one of our hosts drop off. I'm going to cover a few things for everyone as far as what we need to get prepared for. We're going to have an advanced day tomorrow. And for the advanced day, make sure that you have all of your recruiting done. We'll be advancing tomorrow around 12 p.m. Pacific Northwest my time, which is about 3 Eastern. So if you guys are out tonight and you haven't done your recruiting boards, make sure that you get there in time tomorrow and get those sets. Recruiting is going to be very important this season. And then as far as the matchups for this season, I would like to cover our non-conference scheduling just so everybody knows about this ahead of time. So, or not our non-conference scheduling. What am I talking about? I meant for scheduling your games. So this is a 2-set day advance league every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Sunday advance at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. All games must be scheduled in the first 48 hours. If no time is arranged, the game may result in a fair sim, or a commissioner will decide if it's a forced win with no exceptions. If you do not start your game within 1 hour of an advance, we will not wait for you to finish. If 1 hour is not enough, you should have started your game a little bit sooner. Your game will be simmed. Hard advance, guys, at 7 p.m. PST on Wednesdays and 9 a.m. PST on Sundays. As far as failing to meet a scheduled time, that may result in a forced win for the team that is ready and available. So remember, guys, don't schedule a game and then not show up. Make sure that you are communicating. All right, guys, I just wanted to go over with you the advance times and making sure that we're all to the understanding of how we should be scheduling these games. Tonight, we got a special guest. We have our commissioner here, Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Sorry about that from earlier.
Kitty Cats.
But he's our commish, and I'd like to hand it over to him because he's going to talk about what we need to do as far as getting our VOD set.
All right, what's up, y'all? It's Silent Poison here. We want to get our VOD set up on Twitch. If you guys have any questions on how to do it, J-Rock already got a video posted up on Discord under how to save your VOD. Very explanatory, very easy. We want to try to get your VODs in so we can try to do something this year. We want to try to do your top 10 highlights. Probably about every 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to probably do that. If we can get those in, get them big plays going, get you guys highlighted, get your brand out there. Other than that, I mean, any other questions about getting your VOD set up? We're always here to help.
Absolutely. Just a couple of things I wanted to piggyback and talk about a little bit there. Some big and important things. As you can see on my screen, I think a visual is just really important. You're going to see here where I have highlighted it's a bye week. That would show if I had a game this week. If I had a game, it would show who I'm playing, if it's a user or a computer. You can kind of go into the top stories. Here's where J-Rock was talking about your recruiting. You can go into your recruiting board. No, I'm not going to click on it because you guys, I don't want you to see who I've got recruited. But once you're done, you're gonna see the check mark there that it's been completed. Also, when you're inside the recruiting, it'll show you how much hours or time you have left to spend on recruiting. If you don't have every single hour spent and it goes in increments of 5, it'll show you unchecked there. But the big important thing is once you get your game completed, it'll be check marked, and then recruiting gets check marked, and then you'll want to check ready to advance. That just basically shows that you're done. As you come to this screen here under the members tab, you're going to see a bunch of unchecks. That means like here where I'm checked, I have both the bye week recruiting and ready to advance. So you're going to see that I'm like checked off. That kind of just helps our commissioners know that you're done, your recruiting's done. But again, once we hit that advance window, regardless if you got your game in or your recruiting done, it's going to advance on you. So I think we as a team will try and do our due diligence and help you, especially at the beginning, and just kind of communicate, hey, your recruiting's not done or you're not checked. But like once time goes on, it's kind of on you. That's your purpose and your responsibility. And then as you're going to see is down the week 0 game this week, there was only one person. Kansas State had a game, and it'll show who he played. It'll show that he played one time, and it shows that he's check marked, ready to go for the advance. Some important things, like I said, make sure that you're streaming those games. So computer or not, we need to make sure that we're streaming and following those streaming rules. If you have questions, again, refer to the Discord channel. Reach out to J-Rock. Reach out to one of the commissioners. They'll help you, guide you through that. But that's really important for fair play, and just making sure that everybody's following the rules, creating the type of play that we expect here, or I shouldn't say we, but J-Rock and the commissioners expect. I'm just the media guy, so I don't get to set those rules. I just am covering everything. So don't come yelling at me if you don't like something. But the important thing is just making sure that we're following those rules, because there's going to be more to come here in a few minutes that we'll talk about, which is really important. But we want to make sure that those games are covered. It also kind of adds a little layer of viewership and guys being able to watch other guys play their games. And some of these big matchups you want to kind of tune into. So when you're streaming, you can post your stream in and guys can kind of tune into your game and watch it live. And that's always fun. So there's that. And then if anybody has any questions, like I said, for like recruiting, I know the recruiting's a little bit different this year, doing offline dynasty. Ask around to a few guys. They may have some tips. But there is a video that's out there that really kind of helps dive into how the recruiting is set up this year. But it's kind of out there for you. It's a deep dive, and just kind of do what you got to do to build the powerhouse team that you want to build. So with that being said, again, just making sure we get the games covered, broadcasted, get your recruiting in before the deadlines. He announced the advance times in Pacific Standard Time. We will also have a message in the Discord that will translate it over to Eastern Time if you guys need to not have to do the math or whatever. But J-Rock living in Pacific Standard Time, he uses PST. Make sure that you translate that to Mountain Time, Central Time, Eastern Time, wherever you are living, because that time will adjust based off of Pacific Standard Time. And that is a hard advance. Trust me, J-Rock is not playing around. When he says 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, it is 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure that you guys have those games in and are taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and dive into giving this back over to Silent. And he's going to kind of talk about some top 10 ideas. And I first, before I dive into this, I just really want to say this is something that really is going to be on you guys as a community. If you guys do what you are able to do and do what we just talked about, streaming your games, then we can add an extra layer to the league here. But I will say it also is going to depend a little bit on my ability, because I'll be traveling starting August 5th, and I'll be gone for 4 months. I'll have my stuff with me, but I don't know to what capability yet. But our plan is to do this. So I'll let Silent kind of jump in and talk about that, and we'll go from there.
Well, while you're away, I have no problem helping out with that, get these VODs up. But if you guys make sure you label your streams HFA, whatever the game is, or even if you can do the clip yourself and send it over. I mean, we can always download it off on our ends, get it posted up for the top 10. We'll review all the videos. We're talking about doing this every 2 to 3 weeks. So don't be looking for a weekly post of it every time. But I mean, like I said, big brands, get your name out there, get people to see what you can do in the league, possibly move up to the next tier. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, if you guys do good, I mean, after season 2, we're gonna look at all your records, your home record, your actual overall record, your user head-to-head record. I'm even going to keep track of your tiered head-to-head record. So if you're interested to see how you do against your own tier, we're going to keep those as well.
So basically, it's going to be kind of a Sports Center top 10, but it's going to be the HFA's top 10. He said 2 to 3 weeks. That is 2 to 3 weeks in real life. So we're going to be looking at 4 to 6 weeks here inside the league, being that we advance 2 times per week. So you're looking at roughly 4 to 6 games by the 30-plus users that we have. We're going to be able to take a top 10 plays and build kind of a top 10 in the HFA. And we'll do this basically 2 to 3, maybe 4 times through the playoffs per season. And it'll be a fun way to kind of highlight the season, the specific plays. If something stands out, if you make a crazy play or something like that. But Silent is a person that has his own stream. He does a really good job on some of that. So tune in and you'll kind of see his stream and stuff like that outside of the college football. So he will be helping me if I'm unable to do that. We can kind of build the top 10 through that just because I will be on the road traveling for some time. So if my setup does not allow that, it'll come through him, but we'll still get it put up and posted onto the YouTube league page so it can be easily found and rewatched if you'd like to. But again, just a fun way to kind of highlight your players play, top 10 plays or crazy plays that happen week to week. But essentially, it is important for you to put those VODs out there to make sure that we can go back and clip those. If you have any questions, again, reach out to J-Rock or the commissioners. They'll help you with that. If there's any misunderstanding, gray area, anything at all, we're here to help. With that, I'm going to tune in. Like I said, we have one game that took place in week 0. It was the Kansas State Wildcats, and they played the Iowa State Cyclones, the computer. The Kansas State Wildcats fell 13-7. It was a low-scoring affair and not a lot of offense. But the biggest thing that I noticed in this game was turnovers. Kansas State lost the turnover battle 3-1. Kansas State scored all 13 points in the first half. Or Iowa State, sorry. And then Kansas State scored in the fourth quarter and shut Iowa State out, but was unable to get that second score to pull out the win. Kansas State gets the week 0 win. Rocco Beck throws for 180 yards, 1 touchdown. And then running back Carson Hansen, 7 carries, 22 yards. Looking over at kind of Iowa State's production, Avery Johnson gets 2 interceptions but does come away with a touchdown and has 10 carries for 88 yards. And then Dylan Edwards had 12 carries for 46 yards. But again, Kansas State pulls out Iowa State pulls out a 13-7 win, week 0, and then kind of turning into week 1. Once we advance tomorrow, we're going to be looking at a few user matchups, some exciting matchups. And so let's kind of take a deep dive and look at that real quick. I'm going to kind of just cover our user games for week 1, and then we'll kind of talk about each of those and maybe make some picks here. So we got Virginia Tech versus South Carolina, Notre Dame versus Miami, both user versus user games. Myself, I play Cincinnati, the computer. Kansas State bounces back versus computer FCS Midwest. Excuse me, I had to cough there. Colorado plays Georgia Tech, computer. Baylor plays Auburn, computer. Texas versus Ohio State, 1 versus 3. That's a big matchup, user versus user. Tennessee versus Syracuse against Computer Syracuse. Then we got a string of computer or user versus user. Bama and Florida State, A&M versus Wisconsin, SMU versus Florida. Then some user versus computer. The Kitty Cats of Penn State versus Nevada, Georgia versus Marshall, Ole Miss versus Tulane, Oregon versus FCS Northwest, Oklahoma versus FCS Midwest, and then we're down to the end. LSU, Clemson, user versus user, Texas Tech, FCS Southeast, computer, USC, Missouri State, computer, Michigan, New Mexico, computer, BYU, FCS Northwest, computer, Arizona State, FCS West, computer, Arizona, Hawaii, computer, and our last matchup is a user versus user, Utah versus UCLA. Boys, there are some matchups that we should talk about. What ones stand out to you?
So really, I would just stick to all the user games is what's going to matter to me this week. And we have a lot of them. We have 8 user matchup games this week. And one that I particularly am going to have my eye on is going to be Bama and Florida State. I think it's a big matchup. Bama was one of the leaders on the PS5 side last year. He was also your pick as someone who could potentially win the entire thing. And then we've got Florida State on the other side, who has been a past Super Bowl winner in our Madden League. And he's actually done really well in here as far as the college league goes. So that's going to be a really good game. And I kind of I'll be honest with you. I kind of see Bama kind of winning this one. Sorry, Wendy. I love you, brother, but I kind of feel like this is going to be a big game. I feel like Bama's going to come out on top, and I'm like really excited for it. Another game that I'm really excited to see is Notre Dame and Miami. I was told this Miami user, Crash ID, is actually a really good user. Notre Dame's no slouch himself. He came from our Madden League. He's done really well, always competed, played well, got into the playoffs each season. I think it's going to be a really good game. But he is a noob to the college football side. So if Crash Out D is anything like they're saying he is, then I feel like Miami's going to walk away with this one. As far as some of these other games, I'm really unsure of quite a few of them. We've got some new users in that have done really well. And then we've got some users that have won the Super Bowl that have come over. And so let's jump over to the Aggies and at Wisconsin. T. Jinx is a hell of a player. He came in his first season with Tennessee, and he beat the actual champion of the league that's won it 4 times, South Carolina, on the Xbox side. And then he beat the user who was Texas, who eventually went on to win the league. And then our Wisconsin user won the last iteration of Madden and is our Super Bowl champ from that league. He is a noob to college football, but my eyes on this one. And really at this point, I'm really not sure who's going to win this one, but to me, that's just a really big matchup. Another game that I really am interested in seeing is Utah and UCLA. So Clayton came over from our casual league, and he's UCLA. He's actually played pretty good on that side of the ball. He's on that in that server, and he's made the playoffs quite a few times. And then we have Utah, who came over from the baseball league that we have, and this guy says that he's better at baseball than he is at football, but I don't believe him. I think he's actually going to come out and play a really good game, and I'm just really interested in seeing that game. All right, Poison, what about you, brother? Are there any games out there that kind of piqued your interest?
You already mentioned one of them, which was Notre Dame, Miami. I want to see the 2 new users going head-to-head and see how that looks going on. And then I also want to see the Gamecocks. We'll see what they can do with Virginia against Virginia Tech. 2 good teams right there. Virginia Tech, that is, where'd it go?
Virginia Tech's long shot.
Long shot? I'm pretty sure I played them a couple times last year and I got my ass whooped.
Yeah, long shot versus Wakanda Leaf.
Oh, he's
I'm not sure who that is, but I'm pretty sure if he's up in the tier 1, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, he asked to be there, so.
Oh, he has to be there. Oh, man.
For the games, I mean, you guys covered pretty much a handful of them. I think the three that stand out to me, we can't turn our eyes and look the other way. To start off the season, and it happens in real life, but it also is happening here inside the HFA. Week 1, Ohio State versus Texas. At the Shoe, Texas travels to play at the Shoe. This is going to be a really fun game. 2 owners that we were just talking about, the co-commissioner, Zeus of Featherstone, and then we have Savage, King Savage with Texas. I think this is just going to be like a really interesting game. I personally think Ohio State has just a slightly better squad, and I think the fact that Texas is playing at Ohio State with the home field advantage, funny that we talk about the home field advantage, but home field advantage inside the HFA, Ohio State's got that edge just because that stadium's going to be rocking. 1 versus 3 to kick off the year. Give me Ohio State in a close one. I wouldn't be surprised if King Savage comes out on top, but I think Ohio State could shock some people being a home game, and I think Jeremiah Smith is going to be the difference maker, make some big plays. That guy's just ridiculous, kind of like Ryan Williams from Bama, and that's just a tough matchup. I'll be interested to see how King Savage tries to kind of blanket coverage him, and but then, don't forget about the rest of the squad, Tate and the rest of the receiver company that Ohio State has. So you kind of tune in to Jeremiah Smith. It seems like the other number 2, number 3 guy is going to get you, and then they have a running back. They have a pretty solid defense. So I'm looking forward to that game. That one's going to be a really, really fun game. But 2 other games that stood out to me was the game that you talked about, Notre Dame and Miami. I'm excited just because Notre Dame being owned by the 49ers, 60-93, but then Crash Out D. I'm excited to see what he's about, and it seems like the hype's there. And that's going to be, 2 teams that right out of the box ratings-wise are really, really solid. And I think Notre Dame's defensive ability to kind of play one-on-one on the matchups, but then Miami having the offense that they have and just the well-rounded team, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The one thing I will say is Miami with Beck at quarterback doesn't have the mobility quarterback, but they're at home. This is an interesting one. I'm going to lean towards Notre Dame just because the Love at running back, I feel like that's the best running back on the game, and that guy can shake loose. And if you can establish the running game for me, I just don't know Crash Out D enough, and so I'm going to see what the hype's about. But give me the Irish to pull out a win in week 1 over the Canes. And my third game that I was really excited about when I saw the schedules and I was going through it is going to be the LSU Tigers and the Clemson Tigers, the Battle of the Tigers. LSU is going to be ran by Roverhead, and then Clemson is Neon Dion. So I think, again, the Battle of the Tigers is just a fun game at Clemson in the Tiger Pit. You get LSU. That team is stacked, and they've got a crazy good running back. But Clemson's got a pretty solid squad as well with Klubnik at quarterback, and then the receiving core. They've got 3 guys that are pretty elite, and so this is going to be a matchup. I'm going to go with the Tigers, and I think the Tigers pull it out just because they can air it out, and I don't think the pressure that Nussmeier has under him, he's going to have the mobility to get away from that defensive line that Clemson has. They've got a defensive tackle and an edge rusher that are both X-Factor, superstar ability players. So I think Clemson pulls this one out. But again, I could be wrong. And yes, I did pick 2 Tier 2 guys to beat Tier 1 guys. Maybe that's a little biased since I'm in Tier 2, but we'll see. I'm interested to see how these matchups play out. Some big games, and that does not mean that the Bama-Florida State game, the Texas A&M-Wisconsin game, SMU, Florida, Utah, UCLA, Va-Tech, South Carolina did not catch my eyes because they did. It's just those 3 games stood out to me the most.
So I'm going to throw this out there real quick about the LSU user. So, and you'll like this, Silent. So he was the Xbox Penn State user, and his overall record all 4 seasons was 54-10.
God damn, I got a record to hold up to then, huh?
Oh yeah, you got some big shoes to fill.
You better hope you don't play me 10 times because that's 10 automatic losses.
Don't worry, I'm waiting for week 13, baby.
But yeah, that covers our week 1, and let's go ahead and just do like a little quick week prep into week 2, just to kind of see the long shot of what we're looking at. We got Akron and Nebraska user. I'm looking for user versus user games just for because by the time we probably do another show, we'll be in week 2, I think. So we got Baylor, SMU. Let me see here. Going through.
Yeah, keep a count of them. How many you run across while you're going through that?
Michigan and Oklahoma.
Yeah, we got Michigan, Oklahoma. And then Oregon, Texas.
Florida State and Wisconsin.
That's going to be another one.
Oh, and then you, brother. You.
The big kitty cats against the Bulldogs.
PSU versus the Georgia Bulldogs. And then
Arizona and Mississippi State. Arizona State and Mississippi State.
Mississippi State's not a user.
Oh shit! I was in Miami apparently.
So we got 5. We got 5 versus user games in week 2. Since we got a little bit of time, we can go and cover week 2 just to make sure we get them covered. We got Baylor versus SMU. Got Michigan versus Oklahoma. Oregon versus Texas. FSU versus Wisconsin. Penn State versus Georgia. You guys give me your top pick and a runner-up, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
I'm not going to touch the Penn State game because I'd be biased if I took that one.
There ain't nothing to watch there, anyways.
Oh, get out of here. Let's Michigan and Oklahoma. Who we got? We got Saints.
That's Solomon Carter, and then Oklahoma is Marco.
So Marco was my picks to win this whole thing. I think he's a solid user. He can sit out there and shake his head right now all he wants, but he's in tier 1 because he's good.
Oregon is Bro 2. Texas is King Savage. Florida State we already covered. That's going to be Wendell. Wisconsin is Rodizzi, and then Baylor is Dr. Winslow. And SMU,
It's Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy. And then we have you versus Jake in the, Hollow Maniac and you versus Penn State.
You say it with no enthusiasm.
I mean, it is what it is. If that shoe fits, lace it up.
But nah, if anything, I'm looking at Texas and Oregon. That's going to be the game right there. I think it's going to be really good. Number 1, 6 seed.
Yeah. So
we got Bro 2 versus Texas at Texas. And then J-Rock, what's your pick for week 1 or week 2? Sorry.
So I'm going to go with Baylor at SMU. So Poppy's been in this league for a long time, and he's had his ups, he's had his downs, like he's been all over the place. And Baylor, he's one of my long-standing members. Like he goes back with me from like Madden 19 and been in leagues with me ever since. But back in those days, he was a monster at the Madden leagues when we do them. And then he's kind of fallen off because he jumped with me to baseball, and we focused on baseball. I mean, he went to 4 World Series, but he didn't win one. He was like our Denver Broncos or Buffalo Bills, but still a badass player. And he used to be a monster at football games, and I think he's on the verge of making a comeback to that. So my eye is really on this game with both of these users on the up and up side of it. Like I feel like Poppy's had a lot of success over the last few seasons. And then not only that, he's got an amazing squad with a lot of quickness this season. So yeah, him and Baylor, that's really going to catch my eye. I really don't know who to pick in this one. I just know that I want to tune into this game.
For me,
as far as runner up, man, the runner up for me is going to be. This is tough, man. I almost want to say Florida State and Wisconsin, just because Rodizzi's the very last Madden winner in 25, and Wendell he won a Super Bowl in Madden 24. So 2 different cycles. Both have won the championship before, and but Wendell's really good at college. And Rodizzi's he's a lot newer to this, and I do know that he's been playing a lot of the Road to Glory to try to work on his game and see if he can get it adjusted for over here. But that's going to be another really exciting matchup. But I am going to take Florida State in this one. Sorry, Rodizzi. Don't ban me, brother.
for me, week 2, I think my pick top game that I really want to watch is Florida State Wisconsin, just because I feel like Florida State comes off a tough game against Bama and then kind of coming to play Wisconsin, which is a team that for me is a little more on the overall level playing field. But I think these 2 guys match up really well. They're in the same tier. Wendell and Rodizzi, I think, are 2 quality players. And so when they match up and they go head-to-head, you're going to see both teams having to, like, take their shots and, you know, their kill shot and all that stuff. But it's going to be a little more strategy just because they don't have the Jeremiah Smith, or they don't have the Ryan Williams. They don't have the elite players that some of these other Tier 1 teams have, like at Texas and Bama, running back at LSU. So they have quality players. That's not what I'm getting at, but it's just going to be a little more level playing field, and I think both guys are going to be able to find weaknesses, and it's going to be a really strategic game on how they attack each other, and it's going to be a fun game to watch, and that's why I picked that as my top game. But my close runner-up is the Penn State-Georgia game, just because I do think Georgia's an elite team. Penn State is another elite team. Out of the box, these 2 teams match up really well, and I'm excited to see what Holomaniac can do with the Georgia Bulldogs. And then as much as I give Poison shit, I'm excited to see what he can do with this team. Last year when we did the draft, he fell literally 1 pick short. One pick of getting his Penn State Nittany Lions. And when he got Notre Dame, I was like, well, that's a pretty solid team, but it's different when you play with your team, and I think he's really excited to play with this Penn State squad. So I'm excited to see, and that's a banging matchup. Week 2, Penn State goes and plays Georgia at between the hedges there in Athens, Georgia. That's going to be a tough road game for Penn State, but that could set the tone for what Penn State could do the rest of this season. So it'll be exciting to see how this plays out, but that would be my close runner-up. I almost picked that as my game matchup, but I just wanted to I kind of went the other way just because I feel like Florida State, is coming off that week 1 game against Bama, against another team, quality opponent, little more level playing field. I'm excited to see what they do. But yeah, those some quality matchups here in week 2, and then we will cover week 3 and 4 probably on the next show here in a week or so. But yeah, there's a lot of matchups and a lot of things. Just to recap, I really want to recap this really fast. Make sure that you guys get your recruiting in. Hard deadlines. We advance on time, not a minute after. That's kind of the whole premises. You get our commitment here. I keep saying ours, but I don't have anything to do with it. I'm just the media guy. But that's J-Rock's commitment with these guys, Zeus and Silent Poison, Ohio State and Penn State owners. They're going to be on top of it, making sure that we are advancing on time. So make sure you get your recruiting in. Make sure you have your streams set up. Label those with HFA. We'll get those top 10 plays, shows created, and hopefully done every 2 to 3 weeks. Again, that's not 2 to 3 weeks inside the game. It's 2 to 3 weeks in real life. So you're looking 4 to 6 weeks of gameplay. But make sure if you don't have your VOD set up, we will not be able to clip those. So then you will not be eligible for the top 10 plays. So make sure you get that set up.
Real quick, let me jump in there too. Hey guys, if you're streaming your games and you're able to clip directly from Discord and you feel like you got a play that you want to post in there as well, just to show off, go ahead and post yourself if you know how to clip. Hey, we want to see your top 10 plays, because if you tell us that's your best play when we go to clip that out of your stream, then we can go straight to that section and clip it. It'll make it a lot easier for these guys.
Definitely going to be a all hands on deck thing. I mean, we're going to need your help to do this. It's a lot of gameplay to watch. We also have full-time jobs and everything else, lives going on, so we cannot sit and watch every single second. So we need your help. If you feel a play is there, nominate it by letting us know. Give us the play. Give us the timestamp of where it happened in the game. We can go find it, try and clip it, and get it taken care of. But that'll be a fun little extra layer putting in a top 10 show together. With that being said, I don't have anything else. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for myself. Turn it over to J-Rock, Silent Poison. You guys got anything else to add to this show before we wrap it up?
I'm going to add one last thing. So for all your top 10 plays, guys, I want those to be strictly user versus user. I don't want us clipping us doing the CPU dirty, because, I mean, what are we proving there? You know what I mean? I want this to be user versus user for top 10. So remember that when you're putting your top 10s together and you're letting us know about your plays, let's keep this user versus user, because, man, that's what this league is about. We're about having some of these user versus user matchups. Like, I'm trying to build it to where we have, like, a good amount of games. Like, I understand, it's tough the way that this college is broken down, but I'm trying to give us the maximum amount of games that I can by allowing us to issue challenges. I hope that next season you guys are a little bit more vocal about that, because, man, we could have made a lot of hefty schedules this year. But yeah, just remember that. Let's keep these top 10s to user versus user. As far as everything else goes, I'm just really excited for us to get started, and I'm looking forward to it. Silent, I'm going to throw it over to you if you got any final thoughts for us.
Yeah, for everybody that's playing their games, even against the CPU, make sure you're streaming it. If the away team is supposed to be streaming, but if you feel like you want to stream it too to get your perspective, it's more to welcome. The more out there, the better. That way we can get perspective on what's going on both ends, especially if a disconnect happens. You never know. If these servers are trash sometimes, and we all can agree on that. But other than that, I have nothing else.
All right, boys. Well, like Silent Poison and J-Rock just said, make sure we're streaming our games and, getting those VODs set up and nominating those user versus user plays. Something Poison just said is literally very important. Make sure you are streaming, and if your game drops, because this server is spotty at times, if you're streaming, that'll be caught on stream, and so then you're covered, or we need pictures. No pictures, no video, you're kind of SOL. So make sure that you get that taken care of But with that being said, I appreciate J-Rock and Poison taking some time tonight to join me in the kickoff party here of HFA from week 0 to week 1, where all of the other users besides the Kansas State Wildcats finally get to play a game. And with that being said, just as a reminder, HFA Home Field Advantage is founded and created by J-Rock himself. He wants a place for guys to play with a competitive edge to make sure that we have not just one game title. We have Madden, we have college football, we have basketball, we have MLB, and at one point there was even golf was in the talks. But there's lots of titles, and it is a strict rules-based community for each title. But at the same time, it is not aggressive, fast play to allow people who do work aggressive 40-plus 50-hour work weeks to still be able to be a part of something. And we've got a pretty deep competitive field in this college football dynasty. But if you're interested, reach out, give us a like, give us a follow. And this is from my personal page. But if you guys give me a follow, we also will get this shared under the YouTube page for HFA. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, peace.